Global mobility, it's a service and advice, a guide, a support on the difficult transition of moving across countries.
Global mobility's relevance has really been significantly impacted by the pandemic. I think a lot of companies have recognized the fact that individuals are getting stranded in different locations, as well as there's been needs to urgently move individuals from one place to the next. So global mobility, whereas I think before they'd been seen as very transactional, has really been brought to the forefront of how a company is going to get through the pandemic and then proceed going forward. So the relevance has definitely been elevated, and I think the expertise of mobility professionals has been brought to the forefront, because we're finding as we go through these unique situations, we have a lot of companies that need to lean on the expertise of their mobility team in order to get through the pandemic and figure out where we need to have employees. I think I need to do that one again, I'm sorry.
Just expand on it a little bit. I think you're more or less fine, because we will crop around anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, just talk a little bit more about, just in case, just talk a little bit more about how global mobility has become more relevant since the pandemic.
So global mobility's relevance has definitely been elevated since the start of the pandemic. A lot of companies are finding they have individuals located in different cities and countries, and a lot of them have been stuck. So global mobility teams have had to be brought in to strategize and figure out ways the company can get individuals where they need to be and get them there safely. So I don't think the need for mobility is going away anytime soon. In fact, I think it's becoming more important because companies are recognizing that without the expertise of mobility, they will not be able to manage their population of employees going forward.
Well, global mobility is taking care of a person who is going to work in another location that could be in the same country, or it could be overseas, and is moving, and it has to change his whole life, his or her whole life, to do this. And also, this person will take probably his family or her family with everything that is around them. So it takes a lot of effort for them. So we are there for this person and his or her family to work together to make things easier for them. So this is exactly what we do. We move them, but we only not move them, physically and move possessions. We move lives, and this is why it's very, very important for us, to get that connection. And this is what we do. We connect them. We see what they need. And we try to, smooth the process for them of moving to another place.
In our team, we always joke around saying that we slow down with moving international asylee during the pandemic. However, there's something thrown up to the surface, unexpected, a lot of ad hoc situations. No other difference than other companies worldwide. We are all facing the same things. The challenge with people couldn't come back to the country, their visa expired, couldn't get the visa stamp, to mitigate any risk to the company, to the individuals. So it's not just from a health perspective and also from the corporate perspective, the employee perspective as well, right? When they went to other country, went to their home country, they thought it may be just a month or two. End up some people was in their home country for over a year, and now is bringing all this risk to everybody, and then we have to find a way to solve it and release everybody's burdens, and that's it. I have to say, on the other hand, is create more work for us. And again, the challenge, the challenge has bring us new knowledge, new strategy.
So we are the support structure to the business to enable them to achieve their day-to-day activities as well as their long-term strategic goals. We do this by identifying the feasibility of a relocation, consulting with them to build up an ideal package for an individual based on their circumstances, based on the business needs, ensuring that it is within the business's budgets. And by doing this, we're enabling the business to get their key talent to the right locations at the right time.
I think that the global mobility function has changed in a positive way through the global pandemic. From the perspective of gaining more visibility within the organization, certainly, and I think that it has brought the criticality of the work that we do and the value of the work that we do to the forefront. And I think that there's been sort of an uptick in the regularity of communication and information sharing, which is always positive. I think sort of within the global mobility function, or team, the way that global mobility operates itself, there has been a need to really dig in and, become a lot more adaptable and comfortable with ambiguity. The global pandemic has thrust the global mobility function and professionals into kind of a whole new world. A lot of the ways that we had been used to operating really got upended during the pandemic, and we needed to think quickly and creatively. And, I think those efforts certainly have been recognized more by the business at large. So overall, I think the global pandemic, while there have been many challenges and frustrations, actually has allowed for global mobility professionals to shine.
So I think it can be difficult to try and change a mobility policy. There are a lot of different stakeholders involved. It can be finance, it can be your HR leadership team, it can be your HR business partners, and even the business themselves, since many times they ultimately bear the cost of the assignment. And it's really critical to get that stakeholder buy-in in order to be able to move forward with making changes.
I think GM will expand. I think will be expected to take on more. For example, have more knowledge of risk and compliance, of talent management. I think they'll be asking us to do even more.
So right now, everything is going digital. I would say that we need to continue to leverage on technology to actually support the team members and to enhance their experience. So for example, if we have a team member who have not been to the host location before, previously we would have fly the person to the host location and have him to do an orientation trip or to do a home finding trip. We could actually potentially work through all this virtually by having a virtual orientation trip itself. So that's where I find that we need to continue to utilize different technology in enabling some of this for us.
It's interesting because global mobility, along with the benefits that it has because of the growing talents, because we are building capabilities of other people, somehow there is a huge cost to it. So there is a budget that is contributed to this relocation. In the future ways of working with the higher the technology and the new information that we're receiving, we will have to start looking at virtual assignments or working from different locations to the new one, and really looking into reduced number of mobilization. So that's the coming in new ways because of the recent changes.